Right. We're working on lesson 1-7, solve problems with rational numbers. So what we want to do is I can solve multi-step problems with fractions and decimals. So let's take a look at some examples from our workbook. And these are going to be some additional examples beyond what the workbook gives you. We're going to look at the do you know how right here. Now, what it says is that Devin records 4 hours of reality shows on her DVR. Oh, that's Devon. My mistake. She records comedy shows for 3/8 of that amount of time. Devon watches all the reality and comedy shows in half-hour sittings. All right. So we want to, our part A is find the number of hours of comedy shows that Devon records. B is find the total number of hours of reality and comedy shows that Devon records. And C is find the number of half-hour sittings needed to watch all of the shows. Okay, so let's go through this problem here and see what we have to work with. So we have 4 hours of reality shows. 4 hours of actually reality shows. And she records comedy shows for 3/8 of that. 3/8 of that. I'm going to box that in because that's indicating what we're going to be doing. So we've got 4 hours circled, 3/8 circled, and okay. So that's all that's relevant right now because what we need to do is we need to find the number of hours of comedy show. Find the number of hours of comedy shows. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work this out on a, actually we could fit it right there. This right here is going to tell us multiplication of these two numbers. So we take 4 times 3/8. Well, and we have to make both these fractions. So 4/1 times 3/8. And we're multiplying. And we get 4 times 3 is 12. And 1 times 8 is 8. So simplified, that's 1 1/2 hours. That's of comedy. Okay. Now looking at the next problem, so that's how much comedy she watched. Now we're into the next problem. We've got, it says, find the total number of hours of reality and comedy shows that Devin records. So right here, this is important. We see total. Find the total number. And I'm going to box these in of reality and comedy because that's telling us right here that we want to add. Okay, so reality shows is 4, right? This is 4. Comedy, 1.5. So 4 plus 1.5. And that's 5 1/2 hours. So that's the total number of hours. Okay. Our C part is find the number of half-hour sittings needed to watch all the shows. So half an hour sittings. So what we need is going to find the number of half-hour sittings. Half hour, or that's 1/2, needed to watch all the shows. Okay, so all the shows, that's 5.5. Okay, so that means we have to do 5 1/2 divided by 1/2. Now, before we do keep, change, flip, we need to make both these fractions. So we're going to change this mixed number, and 5 times 2 plus 1 is 11. So 11 halves is equivalent to 5.5. And this is going to be divided by 1/2. Now we can do keep, change, flip. And technically, we can continue to use an equal sign here, but I'm just going to go ahead and write keep, change, flip as a reminder. And we get keep this as 11/2, change it to multiplication, and flip the 1/2 to 2/1. So we're going to get 2 times 11, which is 22, and 2 times 1, which is 2. So it says the total, we're going to find the total number of half-hour sittings needed to watch all the shows. The total number of sittings it'll be 11. This is 11, so it's going to be 11 sittings. Now, that's great. So here we've just gone through a multi-step problem, right? We also learned, besides working through this problem, that there was not enough space for me to work on here, so I really should have worked it on a separate piece of paper. It's starting to get difficult to follow my work. So next time, for this next one I show, the part 2 of examples, the second part of examples, I'm going to work this next problem out on a separate piece of paper.